At a big client meeting, my coworker, who was also supposedly my closest friend, joked, "Don't mind her, she's here to make us look smart by comparison." I forced a smile as they all laughed. What she didn't know was that I had been secretly building a solo proposal, and when it got funded instead of hers, she had to sit there and clap as they praised me in front of her. I'm not good at revenge. I don't usually fight back. But this time I didn't have to yell or argue. I just kept my mouth shut and let the work speak for itself. And when it did, she had to watch the room cheer for me. This happened in Chicago, where I've lived most of my adult life. I work at a software consulting company that focuses on logistics and supply chain solutions. Nothing flashy, but the deals are big and the competition is cutthroat. If you land a project, especially with one of the major freight clients, you get noticed and rewarded. Dana and I joined the company around the same time, about 5 years ago. She was sharp, funny, outgoing, the kind of person who could light up a room. People liked her right away. I'm quieter, more behind the scenes. We balanced each other out, or so I thought. We became close fast. Ate lunch together every day. Texted all the time. Traveled together for work. She called me her work wife, and I called her my best friend. She knew things about me no one else at work did. When my mom got sick, she was the one who brought me food. When her boyfriend cheated, I helped her move out. We weren't just coworkers. We were family. At least, that's what I believed. Then we got assigned a major project. The kind of project that doesn't just make your year, it changes your career. A huge logistics company was looking for new software to run their fleet management. They asked us and 2 other firms to pitch ideas. If we won it, our office would become a flagship for the whole Midwest. Our boss, Eric, picked Dana and me to lead the proposal together. He said we were the dream team. I should have felt proud. But instead, I felt a weird knot in my gut. Dana had been slipping lately, showing up late, leaving early, pushing work off onto others. But I told myself it was stress. That I could pick up the slack and we'd both shine. So I did. For 3 weeks, I basically lived in our office. I built wireframes, analyzed data, wrote copy, even fixed some of the bugs in our demo myself. Dana popped in now and then with ideas, but most of it was vague stuff like make it sexier or let's jazz up the dashboard. Then she'd disappear for hours. Still, I covered for her. Told Eric she was working remote. Sent her versions of everything I was doing. I trusted her. She was my friend. Then came the meeting. We were sitting in a sleek glass boardroom downtown, with 6 senior execs from the client and our leadership team. Everyone was wearing suits, the air was thick with pressure. I'd barely slept, but I was ready. Dana kicked things off. She was charming, smiling, cracking jokes, and they ate it up. I started to relax, maybe this would go okay. Then came my part. I started walking them through the technical part of our demo, the stuff I'd stayed up nights refining. I was maybe 3 minutes in when Dana leaned in, smiled at the table, and said, "Don't mind her, she's just here to make us look smart by comparison." And they laughed. Not like a little chuckle. Full-on laughed. Even one of our execs nodded and smiled, like it was just a good joke. I forced a grin. My mouth moved, but I don't even remember what I said next. I kept presenting, but my head felt hot and hollow. I wasn't even embarrassed, I was humiliated. And betrayed. We finished the meeting. They thanked us. Dana high-fived me in the elevator like we just crushed it. That night, I cried in my car. Not just because she embarrassed me. But because it clicked, she didn't respect me. Maybe she never had. But what she didn't know was this, I had already started working on a separate proposal weeks before. It was just a side thing at first. I had an idea for a more specific, streamlined version of our software. Tailored to smaller trucking companies that couldn't afford full suite solutions. I'd been building it out quietly, using my own time. I never told Dana, because I wasn't sure if it was worth anything yet. But that night, sitting in my car, I knew exactly what to do. I stayed up until 3 a.m. cleaning up the pitch deck. Sent an email to our senior partners asking for 20 minutes to present an alternative solution for a smaller branch of the same client. I told them it wouldn't interfere with our main pitch, but it could give us an edge. They gave me 15 minutes on Zoom 2 days later. I gave them everything. The numbers, the need in the market, the demo I built by hand. It was tight, fast, and clear. They asked a few questions, then said they'd think about it. 3 weeks passed. Then Eric called me into his office. The client picked my proposal. Not Dana's. Not ours. Mine. They signed a $1.2 million pilot with one of their smaller regional carriers to try it out, and they specifically requested that I lead the project, solo. I said thank you. I acted calm. But inside, I felt something crack open. Not pride. Not even happiness. Just relief. Like I finally stopped lying to myself about who Dana was. The next week, we had a company-wide meeting. Eric stood up and congratulated me. Said he was proud to see independent initiative and creative problem-solving pay off. Everyone clapped. Including Dana. She was right in the front row. She clapped. But her smile didn't reach her eyes. Not even close. And I just stood there, nodding, as they all looked at me. After the meeting, people treated me different. Some were happy for me. A few of the quiet developers came up and said they were proud. My inbox was full of congrats messages. But there was also a shift I couldn't ignore. Some people got distant. A few even cold. Dana didn't say anything for 2 days. No texts. No jokes. Nothing. I didn't chase her either. Then she showed up at my desk on Friday, smiling like nothing happened. She plopped down in the chair across from me and said, "So, how long were you working on that secret side project?" I stared at her. "Few weeks." She tilted her head. "And you didn't think to loop me in?" I shrugged. "You were busy." That made her laugh, but it was a bitter laugh. "Right. So that's how we're doing this now?" I didn't answer. I just kept looking at my screen. She leaned forward. "You know, the client only picked it because I laid the groundwork. We opened the door, and you slid in after." I finally looked at her. "You embarrassed me in front of that client. Made me look like a joke. You think I owe you credit now?" Her smile faded. "Wow. You're really full of yourself now." I didn't say anything. And eventually she got up and left. After that, the Cold War started. She started turning people against me, slowly. Little comments in the break room. "Must be nice when you don't have to work as a team. Guess solo heroes don't need friends." At first, no one reacted. But it added up. People started pulling away. Invites to lunch stopped. Jokes were quieter when I walked in. Then I found out she was meeting with Eric behind closed doors. Often. A week later, I got a notice that my solo project was going to be restructured for better resource alignment. Which meant they were assigning Dana to my team. I went to Eric. I asked him flat out, "Why is she on this?" He leaned back and said, "She has experience with the client. It's just to help smooth communication." I wanted to scream. Instead, I said, "So she insults me during a pitch, and now she gets rewarded by getting back on the project she didn't even help build?" Eric gave me that smile people use when they want you to shut up. "Let's keep emotions out of this, okay? We need results." That was the moment I knew I wasn't done yet. They thought I'd play nice. But I had receipts. Emails. Time logs. Code commits. Everything. And I was just getting started. I didn't fight her right away. I waited. I knew if I made one wrong move, they'd paint me as difficult. Not a team player. I'd worked too hard to be seen like that. So I did my job. I let Dana join the team. I stayed quiet in meetings. Let her talk, let her try to take control. And she did. She came in like a wrecking ball. Renamed parts of the system, ignored my instructions, updated documents with things I never approved. She started bringing in her own people too. Engineers she was friendly with. I got emails about collaboration changes, meetings I wasn't invited to. I'd walk into a room and they'd go silent. But she didn't know what I was really doing. Behind the scenes, I was tracking everything. I had a folder on my desktop called Just In Case. Inside were screenshots, audio clips from Zoom meetings, recorded legally. Illinois is a two-party state, but our company handbook includes a clause about team meetings being recordable, and all the original documentation from the proposal. Then came the final twist. One of the junior developers, Miguel, pulled me aside one afternoon. "Hey," he said, nervous. "Can I talk to you?" Of course. We went outside. He looked around like he thought someone might follow him. He said, "Dana told me to change parts of the code. Stuff from the original build. She said it was old and she wanted to streamline it." That sounded normal, until he showed me the change log. She was swapping out key pieces of code, my code, and relabeling them under her initials in the system. She was rewriting comments, replacing Git history, making it look like she'd done most of the work from the beginning. I felt sick. She wasn't just trying to share credit. She was trying to rewrite history. I thanked Miguel. I asked him to email me everything, which he did. Then I went to HR. I laid it all out. The altered files. The messages. The timeline. Even the clip from the original client pitch where she made the "don't mind her" comment. They listened. Nodded. Said they'd investigate. 2 days later, Dana was still working like nothing happened. That Friday, Eric pulled me into another meeting. He didn't look happy. "She says you're trying to sabotage her," he said flatly. "She's stealing my work." He rubbed his forehead. "I don't want to lose either of you, but this can't keep escalating." I realized then, they weren't going to protect me. They wanted it to just go away. So I went higher. I emailed the client. Not to complain, just to inform them that there had been unauthorized changes to the build. That they might want to verify what version they were reviewing. The client replied an hour later. They asked for a full audit. I complied. And then all hell broke loose. The audit exposed everything. The client's tech lead ran the side-by-side comparison between the original and current builds. They flagged every major change. Missing functions. Bugs where there weren't any before. Code comments that didn't match the logic. The kind of stuff that doesn't just slow down a project, it screams incompetence. They sent a report to our leadership. I wasn't copied on the first message. But 2 hours later, Eric came storming over to my desk. "We need to talk. Now." I followed him to a small glass conference room. Dana was already there, sitting stiff in her chair, arms crossed. Eric didn't sit. He dropped the report in front of her and said, "What the hell is this?" Dana flipped through it, acting confused. "It's a misunderstanding," but he cut her off. "Did you alter the original build?" She hesitated. We were refining it, cleaning it up." "You didn't write the original code. You didn't even touch the prototype until after the client picked it." Her voice got sharper. "That's not true. I helped shape the strategy," I spoke up. "You took credit for things I did. You pushed me out, then tried to erase me from my own project." Eric looked at her. "You told me she was lying. That she was being difficult. But the version you handed the client was barely functional. Dana's face twisted. You're just taking her side because she... He snapped, enough. Then he turned to me. We've decided to pull you both from the project. I blinked. What? The client doesn't want either of you managing it now. They've requested a neutral team. They don't trust what's been happening. My mouth went dry. All that work. All those nights. And now it was gone. But I know, he said, quieter. And I'll say it, you were right to flag this. You did the right thing. But this whole mess damaged the account. So we're moving in a different direction. He handed me a folder. HR wants to meet with you next week. They'll offer a transition plan. You'll have some options. I didn't even look at Dana when I left the room. But that wasn't the end. The client sent a follow-up a week later. They moved the pilot to another firm. Said they no longer felt confident in our internal alignment. We lost the deal. $1 million contract, gone. Eric resigned 2 months later. Dana was demoted. No leadership roles. No speaking engagements. She stopped showing up to the office soon after that. Word was she took a job in Kansas. Some small agency. No major clients. As for me? I took the transition deal. Used it to cover a few months of bills while I rebuilt. I started my own thing. Quietly. No big pitch. Just a consulting business, just me, focused on small clients. My way. Honest. It's not flashy. But it's mine. Looking back, I realize I wasn't just mad that she embarrassed me. I was mad because I let it happen. I made excuses for her for years. I looked the other way every time she took more than she gave. That's on me. She burned us both down trying to steal a spotlight she never earned. But I walked away with my name clean. And now? Every win I get is mine alone. No one claps louder for me than me. And that's more honest than any fake friendship ever was.